Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day because you guessed it, it is officially my 40th birthday while you're watching this video. And I thought we would pull out all the Disney princessy vibes for that, because if you can't be a Disney princess on your 40th birthday, or you can't capture the essence of Glinda on your 40th birthday, when can you? When can you? Fun fact, my sister bought me this tiara from the Disney collection a few years ago, and I've worn it once in Magic Kingdom, but girl, this is for looks because it is already squeezing the back of my head. I'm not sure how you're supposed to wear this, if it's supposed to sit on top or be more like secured, but holy cow. This may not last the entirety of the video. I thought to celebrate my birthday with you, I would do something that is near and dear to my heart, which is a bariatric question and answer session. We are going to talk about mindset shifts. You know I love to talk about that. Routines and habits, success strategies, because I am now almost 6 years post-op and continuing to lose, and navigating life after surgery. So if you're here and you're looking for weight loss surgery content, a little bit of extra, and upcoming Disney travel, because that's what's happening for the next at least 2 videos, I would love it if you would subscribe. That could be your gift to me on this very epic of birthdays. Please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you. The BariTale community is one of support, friendship, and essentially like girls who get it. So join us. If you've come here looking for bariatric answers regarding how to maintain success, how to be successful, what does life look like after weight loss surgery, regardless of the kind that you have had or are having, you're in the right place. Today, we are going to get raw and real and vulnerable with what does surgery look like post-op? How do we maintain success? I am answering your questions that you submitted to me on social media. So let's see if I answer yours. And the goal is that you leave this video with actionable steps that you can take starting today to make sure that you're feeling successful. So whenever your next birthday is, whenever you get to celebrate your next big milestone, you're doing it with confidence. If that sounds good to you, stick around, let's jump in. I'm gonna be answering questions or peeking at my questions that are kind of to the side of the camera, but I will put up the questions on the screen here too. First, let's talk about mindset, because the mental game post-op is everything. Our first question is, what's your biggest mindset challenge after bariatric surgery, and how do you overcome it? For me, the hardest challenge post-op, and really kind of pre-op, this is a through line in my life, was overcoming the concept of perfection. I have, or used to be, an all or nothing personality, and I used to beat myself up if when I was dieting that I had one off meal or even an off day. And I see this diet mindset, this all or nothing diet mindset, translating, or at least in my early days post-op, into all or nothing about, did I meet my hydration goal, my protein goal, my movement goal? Like, I set all of these helpful and tangible numbers for myself, but then if I came just slightly short, or if I had a day where I totally blew a goal, just didn't hit it, come close to it, instead of thinking, okay, what can I do tomorrow? I would cycle into, this isn't gonna work for me. I knew I couldn't do this. All of these negative self-talk thoughts that made it hard for me to then meet a goal the next day. But here's what I've learned over nearly 6 years, and it's progress beats perfection every single time. If you slip up, if you fall off track, it is not and never will be the end of the world. I have learned through the process of repeated failure that I have to own those errors, those mistakes, those moments, and then I have to learn from them, forgive myself, and move forward. And part of that learning process is coming back to my why. It's how I stay motivated this far out of surgery. If you watched my first ever vulnerable, very raw, emotionally ugly video about why I'm having surgery or why I had surgery, I would tell you then that it was my daughter, right? She's 9 now. I did this so much for her so that I could be a better role model and break generational obesity for her and the trauma that comes with that. That's all still true. But there was a revelation in being in my 30s. Whoa! That's the first time I've said that phrase because I no longer am. Processing. One moment, please. Being in my 30s and having this realization that it is now time for me to be the woman I envisioned myself being. When I was young, like the little version of Chelsea, my inner child Chelsea, envisioned my 30-year-old plus Chelsea as being energetic, confident, healthy, and alive. And I don't mean that in the sense of like I'm going through the motions day to day. I mean thriving in my aliveness. Your why might and likely does look different. Maybe it's also for your children or your child. Maybe it's for your inner child like it is for me. But could this be for your career, for your happiness, for your freedom, for your own health? Whatever it is, find your why and have that be the motivator for how you feel successful and define success for yourself. I apologize, that was kind of a long answer to that question, but I wanted to give you the complete picture. Question number 2 is a bit of a sensitive one because this happened to me recently, but it is, have you ever regained weight post-op? How did you handle this? Ah, yes, the age-old question of weight regain post-bariatric surgery. No one really wants to talk about this, but the fact is that it happens. And it's okay to admit it. I want you to be able to, if this is something you're currently battling, say, without judgment, simply based on data, yes, the scale has increased. And here's why. I have absolutely experienced weight regain at different parts of my journey. I've also experienced numerous stalls. I mentioned in a previous video that over the winter, like late fall, I talked about how every single winter my body hibernates and I gain 6 to 8 pounds, and then it comes off at the start of spring, usually without any intervention at all. I literally just cling to it, and I challenged myself not to do that. Not only did I not do that, I did in fact gain those 6 to 8 pounds. I gained more than that, so now I'm in the process of like re-losing that same weight. What helps me get back on track when I watch the scale do something I don't want it to do are 2 things. It's accountability and self-compassion. For me, accountability looks like tracking my protein, not every single day and not in a way that's triggering, but in a way to give me information, making sure I'm getting in my water and movement, and also in the form of a support group. I often feel the call to reestablish my simplest healthy habits when I get on my scale every Wednesday morning because I weigh myself once a week and it doesn't give me the data that I want it to. And yes, I realize that you might be saying, hey, Chels, aren't you a bariatric support coach? Shouldn't you not be regaining weight? Yes, that's very true. However, I think this is a part of life post-op because I don't calorie count. I don't withhold food or beverage or joy from my life. So this is a balancing act, and I use the data to drive my impact, to drive what I'm doing to help myself. Now, I will tell you that for the past 3 weeks, the scale has gone in a downward trajectory. So I'm able to not only break the stall, but then lose the weight that I gained initially. Now, self-compassion is the harder one. Accountability is very tactical and strategic, and I work with this beautiful group of women. Self-compassion is where I have to or have had to train myself not to spiral when I see certain numbers. This is about working with my inside voice, right? She's a former mean girl. Her name is Bianca. You might know about her. But this is about taming and working with that inner talk so that I don't have the spirals that I used to have. And it's about calling into practice those mindset shifts. The shifts are easy when it's going well. When things are challenging is when you really have to put them into practice. And my number one mindset shift has been around food as not being the enemy. Food is simply fuel. It's a neutral thing. And for me, that type of fuel requires some boundaries. I think there's a segue here into daily habits, so I want to give you my top 3, and these are super actionable. You could start them today. My first is around hydration. Hydration first, always. Dehydration can creep in so quickly, and it's really hard to kind of catch up once you're behind. So always I begin with hydration. And this can be a change to help you break a stall. It could be the only step that you need. I tend to focus on 80 plus ounces a day. I like to zhuzh up my water a little bit for fancy water. That's what I call it. We add colostrum, cucumbers, mint, a lot of lemon. Like, I like my water to be a concoction. Fancy ice cubes. You can just go with whatever you love, but it helps me get my water in. My second daily habit is around how I stack a physical plate. I do this with purpose and intention. It will not surprise you that I start with protein first, right? Like, that's the ultimate goal of the meal. And then I add to that veggies, carbohydrates, a complex fat that's gonna make something like really delicious. And when I'm eating, I start with my protein because I'm not trying to deny myself the other delicious things on my plate. I just know that I need to get my protein in first, and then by default, there's less room for the other bits. And number 3 is daily movement. This doesn't have to be scary, painful, or an hour long. This morning, I did a 22-minute walk on my walking pad, right in this room, looking out the window while wearing my red light therapy face mask and oiling my hair. I was habit stacking as a queen because that's how I want to start this year and decade of my life. This could also just be a 5-minute stretch in the morning. Whatever it is, this is about compounding your progress over time and establishing a simple movement routine. You are going to see success and your body will thank you. And as for special occasions, like maybe say an upcoming Disney trip, a 40th birthday, I plan ahead. I tend to start my day with a protein shake or something light, making sure that I have enough hydration and protein in my body for whatever delicious treats are coming later, i.e. maybe some champagne, cake pops, etc. And then I can focus on enjoying my company, enjoying the moment, and not counting or freaking out about eating something I shouldn't. I don't believe in that. Since we're chatting about food, the third question I think ties in really well. Do you have go-to meals or snacks? I know you mentioned you don't do a repeat food rotation. So this must come from either a social media post or a former video. I am not the type of chef in my household that is like Monday night chicken, Tuesday night spaghetti. Like, I like to cook something different almost every single day of the week. We use a meal kit service, a delivery service called Every Plate. This is not an ad. I will leave it linked in the description below because I think you can get a free box with my code. I do not work with them. I'm just a regular consumer, but because of that, I feel more empowered to try new meals. Every night, at least 3 nights a week. But I do have some go-to favorites that I love. Now, I've already mentioned my protein shake. She has been a staple for almost 6 years. But in terms of breakfast, I also love a Greek yogurt or even cottage cheese. I know that that one's controversial, but I like my yogurt with a sprinkle of granola. Sometimes I'll make it by hand. Sometimes I'll buy it. I think Trader Joe's has some really good options with some dried berries. I also love a deli roll up, like a meat roll up centered around a cheese stick. Cheese sticks play a crucial and vital role in my daily joy. This option might be very niche, but because I live on Cape Cod, we are surrounded by water. For the past year, I have found such delight in oysters. I love a raw oyster with a delicious mignonette sauce. Oh, my mouth is watering. They're light, they're perfect protein. I love shrimp cocktail, and it's almost lobster roll season. But those are not a necessarily day-to-day option. I love a really good cheese with hummus. If you've seen any of my Trader Joe's haul videos, you know that that just brings me so much joy, and it's super quick and efficient. Question number 4 says, I watched your hormone video on ghrelin, that's your tummy hunger hormone. How do you handle cravings post-op? What a great question. Yes, Your hunger hormone, also known as ghrelin, this little evil monster that lives in your tummy, he comes back. He comes back, and it could come back for you 2 weeks post-op, 3 months post-op. It's almost like the longer ghrelin is gone, the harder it is to control your cravings, because you think for a while, I've conquered them. I no longer even have cravings. False? That false. I'm so sorry. Then I implement the walk away method. Okay, so I tend to leave the kitchen area for 15 to 20 minutes and put in place one of my coping mechanisms. In my coaching programs and in my digital course, we go in depth to your personalized coping mechanisms. Nothing's open right now. There are lots of changes happening to BariTale coaching. So if you aren't on the wait list, which is totally free, the link to that will be in the description box below so that you can be on the wait list and you will be the first to know when something launches, if this particularly is an area of concern for you. But after those 20 minutes, if I still want the popcorn, the piece of cookie, the little bit of chocolate, ooh, I just brought back such good chocolate from Nashville. If I still want that, I will have a few bites. I am not going to say no and deny and then force my willpower to go into work at the evening time. This is not about willpower. It's a shift, a balance of your new life. So I will take 1 to 2 bites, really savor them, smell it, fully taste it, swirl it around in your mouth, feel yourself swallow it, be grateful that you had it, and then move on. I love question 5. It says, if you were having surgery this month, what would be something you would do right away afterward? Something I did not implement right away afterward, and I wish I did, this is kind of like what I wish I knew, is to implement a support system. Support systems are everything when it comes to long-term success in this journey. This could be a bariatric support group. It could be an online forum. It could be through your personal clinic. It could be a bariatric coach, a therapist, whatever. You need people in your corner who understand what you've just gone through and what you're continuing to go through. Bariatric surgery is this little underground club, right? Where if you've told someone that you've had it, they'll be like, oh, my sister-in-law, my husband, my father, someone in their life has had it, but they don't talk about it. And when life gets hectic again, when you return back to work, when you get to move on the kind of scale of things that you can eat, when you have your first stall, if you're doing this alone, you are likely going to freak out. You may spiral. So there are other tools that I use besides a support system that I wish I put in place. I'll get into those in a second, but that would be my priority. Who can I turn to? Who can I ask questions about that are going to be more sensitive, like poop? And if you are still menstruating, like your first period post-op. Those are questions you don't want to ask just complete strangers. I also wish that I had implemented a habit tracker. Oh man, how I love my journaling and my habit tracker now, but to keep myself clear of thought, because I was holding everything in my head and feeling like I had to do everything every single day perfectly to execute to be successful. I wish I could also tell her to take a breath. It's going to be okay. Honestly, the support group of even just knowing that you have people to cheer you on, that now keeps me grounded and accountable. So I want that for you too. Find yourself a support system. Question number 6. What's been rewarding for you besides the lost weight? So I thought about this answer for a long time because I feel like so many of my videos cover my non-scale victories. Like I literally just did a video about that. I will make sure it's linked here. I talk about them quite a bit. So when sitting with this question, I actually did a meditation session on it. And one of the most rewarding parts of my life post-op is you. I know that you think that's cheesy, but I'm a sentimental gal. My bariatric experience gave me the courage to start sharing this journey, and it's built this community, and out of this community, a business. Watching my students and my clients develop new habits, have the courage to be women that they knew they could be but didn't know how to get there, and they just needed someone to support them. It's like having multiple children in a certain sense. That same pride and love that I have when I watch Callie do something amazing is how I feel about my clients and my students. Like, I am honored to be alongside them in this journey. And at 40, I can safely say that I have never felt stronger emotionally and physically or healthier. I have never felt more confident and committed to something ever in my whole life. I am so excited about what's to come, not only for my own life, but for this business of helping women like you. The transformations have just been wild. I feel like it's because of this journey that I've been able to step into my passion. Like, helping women through the bariatric journey isn't just something that I love to do. I think it might be my calling in life. This is what I'm meant to do here on this earth. And because of that, it is my birthday, but because gift giving and gift receiving is my love language, I wanted to give you something today too. If you've been struggling with mindset or daily habits or weight regain, I have built a 5-day Berry Magic reset just for you. This is a brand new product that came out of requests from my students and clients. Can you condense this information into one space? So I did. It's a free guide that's in the description box to take you day by day and help you establish simple but effective habits over time. This is my gift to you so that you can gain some quick wins this week and find that they are sustainable and they actually work. Also, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your biggest challenge is in this post-op world. Would you put that in the comments below? Because I can use that data to create future products that are free for this beautiful, incredible audience that I have the honor and privilege to serve. And our last question of the day is just kind of a fun one. It is, how are the 1985 girls turning 40? Also, when I told some younger people in my life that I was born in the 19s, the shock and awe, the appalled. And the follow-up question is, what are you doing to celebrate? So part of it is that I had my February trip with my girlfriends in Sonoma. That was like the first kick-off, if you will. Mark and I spent a weekend in Nashville together. And then honestly, we are going to have brunch at a restaurant called Citrus and Salt in Boston. If you know anything about it, will you let me know in the comments? I haven't gone there, but I did some social media research about prettiest spaces in the city, and it's become kind of a tradition that we go out to a brunch for my birthday. I expect we'll end up at my favorite place, the winery, at some point, and we are headed to Disney in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned and subscribe for those future videos. From the deepest, sparkliest parts of my heart, thank you for celebrating my 40th birthday with me. I want you to remember that success is not about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself as the person you want to be, as the woman you are every single day. If you are looking for my free gift to you, the 5-day Berry Magic Reset, that's in the description box, along with the waitlist for coaching and my digital course. A lot of changes are coming. Be on that wait list if you want to know what's happening first. And spoiler alert, there will be a deep discount offered for something coming up soon. So that's in the description box too. Next week, we are packing for Disney, where I'll be picking some of these ears to bring. My head has gone numb from wearing this, but I think it's been well worth it. I will see you, my beautiful friend, in the next video. Goodbye. I love you.